All right, let's talk crypto. If you've ever felt like the whole world of cryptocurrency is just this crazy maze of jargon and hype, well, you're in the right place. We're about to cut through all of that noise and give you the solid foundation you need to really understand what this is all about.
Okay, so let's just dive right in. I want you to forget the headlines, forget the crazy price charts, just for a minute. At its very core, what are we actually talking about when we say crypto? Let's break it down piece by simple piece.
So, first things first, we're going to start with the absolute basics. By the end of this first section, I promise, you'll have a really solid grasp of the big ideas that make this entire world go round. All right, let's start with the name itself. Cryptocurrency is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's a digital currency. It's built to be sent and received online. And that crypto part? Well, that's the important bit. It comes from cryptography. You know, the super complex encryption that locks down and secures every single transaction? It's what makes it so incredibly secure.
So what's the magic behind it? Well, it's this technology called the blockchain. The easiest way to think about it is like a global shared bank ledger. But, and this is the key, instead of one bank controlling that ledger, it's copied and spread out across thousands and thousands of computers all over the world. And that distribution is exactly what makes it nearly impossible to mess with.
And this all leads to the big one, the killer feature, decentralization. You see, because no single company or government is in charge, you can send value directly to anyone, anywhere in the world without needing a middleman. But it's about more than that. It means no one can stop or censor a transaction, and it opens up the world of finance to anyone who has an internet connection. No permission slip needed.
Okay, so once you get that core idea, you start to see how it just branches out into an entire universe of different digital assets. Because trust me, once you get past the basics, you realize there's a whole digital zoo out there.
And you pretty quickly see two main categories emerge. So on one hand, you have Bitcoin, the original gangster. It was designed to be really simple, scarce digital money. People call it digital gold for a reason. But then you've got something like Ethereum, which is, well, it's more like a global computer. It lets people build applications on top of the blockchain using these things called smart contracts. And really, these are just little bits of code that run automatically when certain things happen. Kind of like a digital vending machine that just works all on its own.
And believe me, the variety does not stop there. You've got tokens that can represent basically anything, from a US dollar to a piece of a project. You've got NFTs, which are just unique, one-of-a-kind digital items like art or collectibles. And yeah, you've even got meme coins, which, they might start out as an internet joke, but some of them grow into these massive community-powered projects. It's a wild world.
Okay, so there are literally thousands of these different assets out there, which brings up a pretty big question. How on earth do you figure out what any of them are actually worth? This is a spot where a ton of beginners get tripped up, so let's clear it up right now.
You might see one coin that costs, say, $1, and another that costs $50,000. And it's so easy to think, oh, the $1 one is cheaper, so it's a better deal, right? Well, that is a classic trap, and it's just not how value works in this space. See, instead of just looking at the price of one single coin, the metric that really matters, the one you absolutely need to look at, is the market capitalization, or market cap for short. This number tells you the total value of the entire network, and that gives you a much more accurate picture of its size and worth.
And the formula to figure it out is actually super simple. You just take the price of one coin and you multiply it by how many of those coins are actually out there in circulation. That's it. Price times supply. That simple calculation gives you the real apples-to-apples value of the whole project.
And this is why Bitcoin, even with its high price for a single coin, is the undisputed heavyweight champion. Its absolutely massive market cap shows you the total value that people all over the world see in the entire network.
All right, so you get the concepts, you get how it's valued, but what about the how? If you were curious and wanted to get started, what would that first step actually look like?
Honestly, it really just boils down to three pretty simple stages. First, you pick an exchange. That's just a marketplace where you can buy and sell crypto. Then, you fund your account, usually with something like a bank card. And finally, you just choose the crypto you're interested in and place your order. That's the basic flow. Now, once you own some crypto, you need a place to manage it, and that's your digital wallet. But this part is super important, so listen up. Your wallet doesn't actually hold the coins themselves. The coins always live on the blockchain. What your wallet holds are your private keys. Think of it like the secret password that proves you're the owner and gives you and only you the right to spend them. And that brings us to our final section. And honestly, it might be the most important part of this whole thing: staying safe. Because with this incredible new technology comes some brand new responsibilities for you.
Think of these as the absolute non-negotiables. First rule, never, and I mean ever, share your secret seed phrase. That's the 12-word master password that can restore your entire wallet. If someone gets those words, they have your funds. It is that simple. You also have to be on the lookout for scams. And for the highest level of security, a lot of people use a hardware wallet, which keeps your all-important keys completely offline, totally safe from hackers.
But look, if you walk away with just one piece of advice from this entire explainer, please let it be this one. This space is new, it's exciting, but it's also volatile. Only ever invest what you would be completely okay with losing. This is the cardinal rule of crypto. Period.
So what's the verdict? Is this all just some crazy speculative bubble? Or is it really the foundation for a whole new financial system? You know, the honest truth is, nobody knows for sure. But now you have the core knowledge to cut through the noise, to do your own research, and to start forming your own opinion. The journey from here, well, that's up to you.